Hey folks, Mike Dawkins from World Cast Anglers here with your Jackson Hole weekend fly fishing forecast for the weekend of June 6th and 7th. It's a beautiful evening tonight in Idaho. I'm technically in Wyoming, looking at the Grand Teton, the Teton Range behind me. I chose this spot because it's been pretty hot this week. It's been pretty hot and it's been pretty windy, and we're losing our snow melt pretty fast. So things are kicking into high gear with our runoff. We're going to see that curb and sort of slow down here in the next couple days as things slow down, but all of our creeks and tributaries are full. They're spilling out. You know, it's somewhat of a good sign. We're sort of passing the peak per se of runoff. Our runoff is progressing. It's not stalling. So all of those things are good things. The big news coming into this weekend is our weather is changing, and it's not changing for anything good. This is probably one of the last days or nights that shorts and flip-flops are going to be allowed, because things are definitely going to cool off. The Fly Shop in Victor, we're open Monday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., full summer hours. We're ready for everybody. We've got everything you need heading up to the Henry's Fork or perhaps the South Fork this coming weekend. As I said earlier, the weather's changing, and it's not changing for anything good. Saturday, it looks like 67 and 44 are our temperatures. Thunderstorms all day. Not great weather conditions for whaling around with a graphite fly rod. So if you do venture out on Saturday, please be cognizant, please be aware that graphite is a lightning conductor. Sunday, it looks even worse. 48 and 33, 80% chance of rain all day long. Monday, 45 and 32, rain, snow mix. I know it breaks my heart as well as all of you out there to hear a snow mix in our forecast. I thought we were past that, but we do live in the Rocky Mountains, and that's pretty typical Rocky Mountain weather coming in there. After that, it looks like things sort of stay in the 50s and 60s and progressively warm up by the next weekend. So don't despair. It's just a small road bump on our progress to summertime here in Jackson Hole and Teton Valley. The South Fork of the Snake, 18,500 CFS right now. Water managers, as we speak, are jumping up water flows on the South Fork 500 CFS increments. It will be at 20,000 CFS tomorrow. We don't expect it probably to get any higher. I don't know, but I don't see the big need for them to get that much higher, but we're going to see 20,000 CFS tomorrow. You know, the South Fork of the Snake is still fishable at 20,000 CFS. Is it the place that I would go? Probably not. I'm going to have to harp on being safe, being cognizant, and being aware. You know, if you are going to journey out on the South Fork this weekend to fish, it's probably going to be a nymphing and streamer game. I wouldn't expect great fishing, and I would be ready to fish any slow water that you can find. Once again, there's going to be a lot of debris and things like that. I can't say don't go. I can't say go. It's up to you. It's up to your decision. We have had people fish the South Fork at levels that high and have done well. It's really up to you and your comfort level. I would say if there is an inkling of a doubt of your safety on the water, don't go. But if you're a pretty accomplished oarsman and angler, you know, you may drum up a couple, you know, big flows, get big fish out of their lies and do weird things that you may start seeing some things. But look for those slower water areas to produce some things and be safe. That's all I can say about that. The Henry's Fork of the Snake, 781 coming out of the box, 1,950 CFS there on the lower river. We saw an increase in flows come out of the Box Canyon today. Similarly to the South Fork, we're seeing things rise. Water managers are starting to increase discharge from all of our dams in the area as all of this water starts filtering out from the high country behind me. Salmon flies are pretty much finishing up on the Henry's Fork. If I were looking for salmon flies, I'd head up to the Box Canyon. I'd also head down to the Chester area. Those are going to be sort of the last areas where you'll see them in somewhat high concentrations. Dry dropper fishing has still been pretty good around, you know, the Chester to Fun Farm area and the Box Canyon area. Nymphing in the Box Canyon has been really good with rubber legs, tactical jigs, bullet quills, zebra midges, anything along those lines. We're seeing some really good fishing around Wood Road 16. We're seeing some really good fishing on Riverside, which is now open. Lower Mesa Falls, all that stuff is fishing pretty good. So you've got some great stuff to pick throughout the entire Henry's Fork drainage. There's a lot of water, more water for everyone, so it probably will be an even busier place here coming forward with the South Fork flows being high, but it probably won't be that busy of a place this weekend with the crummy weather. Look for Goldens to be out and about as well. Leftover caddis, and we're really close to the PMDs and the green drakes. They should be coming up here very soon, so it wouldn't be surprising if sometime in next week when it warms up we start to see those bugs. But look for the Henry's Fork to be the most consistent fishery sort of in our area right now. The Teton, 1,550 CFS down there in the valley, 3,700 CFS there on the lower river. The Teton's dirty, spilling over its banks. If you want a pleasure float, Teton's the place to be, but don't expect much out of the fishing. Snake, 5,460 CFS there, being discharged from Jackson Lake Dam. 22,000 CFS there going into Palisades Reservoir before the salt and the grays. So they're actually making up probably somewhere around 4,000 to 5,000 CFS of gain going into Palisades Reservoir compared to the discharge there on the South Fork when you factor in the salt and the grays. Similarly, the snake, most of the snake is dirty, it's off color, it's high, it's cold, it's chocolate milk, it's yoo-hoo, it's whatever you want to say. The dam to Pacific Creek always stays clear. Grand Teton National Park still hasn't changed, you know, much considering boat angling access and things along those lines. So if you were going to be fishing, I'd look for the Jackson Lake Dam area for wade fishing opportunities with streamers, light sink tips, heavy sinking poly leaders, things along those lines in those discharge pools below Jackson Lake Dam can be really good for lake trout and cutthroats and the random brown trout in there. The lower river, you know, down towards the Oxbow and stuff like that, you're just going to have to sort of play it by ear and make a game time decision on what you see down there. Sometimes fish will be eating leftover betas, midges, caddis, things along those lines. So if you are looking to fish the snake, you're pretty much limited to the dam to Pacific Creek. We've heard some good reports of Jenny Lake, Lee Lake, and String Lake fishing well for the bank and wade angler, since no boat angling is allowed yet, but that's probably going to change here quite soon. Yellowstone National Park. We've got the fire hole and the Madison that are fishing in true spring fire hole and Madison form. The fire hole is high, but the fire hole doesn't get really dirty. It gets more tannic and tea-stained. Swinging streamers, swinging soft tackles, swinging damselfly nymphs, and things along those lines can be ultra productive on the fire hole this time of year. I'd poke around sort of the fire hole gibbon confluence there where the Madison starts and throw some nymph rigs with rubber legs, Duracells, San Juan worms, stuff like that. You can usually pick up a fish or two there, but usually, you know, I'd concentrate on the fire hole. You may see some caddis. You'll probably see some betas this weekend, blue-winged olives, and look for PMDs to really kick into high gear as it gets warm. We've had some great reports coming out of the west thumb of Yellowstone Lake, some great cutthroat fishing there on the still water. So with that being said, we've got some great fishing options. They're getting more limited as our runoff progresses and we sort of hit some of our peak, but we should see things sort of come down on the backside of the peak, more into the valley for things to settle out here coming into the next couple weeks. As I said, it's been hot, it's been dry, it's been windy, so it's not surprising that we lost a lot of snow up high, and all that snow has got to go down into our tributaries, our creeks, our reservoirs, and our rivers. So be patient. If you're looking for a weekend to stay inside and finish up some of those home projects, this is the one, because we got some really great fishing moving forward here into the end of June. So once again, thanks for tuning in. We hope you have a great weekend and a safe weekend on the water. Take care of each other out there, and we'll see you here next week.